You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is July 16th, 2024 meeting of the LaPorte County Board of Health. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
You've been told.
Great. Dr. Nelson, I believe he will be coming, but he's just going to be a few minutes behind.
Okay.
Mrs. Arnold.
Here.
Dr. Uhas. Dr. Manning Cox.
Here.
Dr. Dora.
Here.
Ms. Lawn. Here. Thank you.
Okay, next is approval of the minutes. Anyone have any questions about the minutes from the last meeting? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll second that motion.
My turn, please.
We're ready to roll call? Do we have to do roll call?
I'm not sure.
The fact that we don't have any members. We don't have any members right now. That's just so. I don't think that we need to.
So we can do it here?
I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Everyone in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? There are none. Motion passes. Public comments next. Does anyone have public comment? Okay. All right, next is the health officer's report.
You know, I really don't have a whole lot new to talk about, which is kind of one of those good news, bad news things. COVID is increasing a little bit, but not a lot of that is related to the lack of immunizations. And deaths are still in the hundreds because the immunity is going down, and there are some new variants that are coming out. And a new vaccine has been out in the fall and has been recommended for everybody. So, but the numbers are nothing like what they've been in the past. But unfortunately, people are still dying from it, and people that are dying from it are almost consistently not adequately immunized. They might have got one or two at the beginning, but not adequately immunized. And when this new one comes out, because of all the new variants that are out, again, there's going to be hopefully a very strong push to encourage people to get it done and that type of thing. Even if you've had 2, 3, 4, those vaccines are not covering some of the new ones. They cover the old variants that are still around, and they're going to be included in the new vaccine, but it's still an issue. The other thing is bird flu continues to be in the news, and if anybody's had a chance to read my report, we talked about 4 documented human cases. There's been just in the last week to 10 days, there's been 4 more cases in poultry workers, all very minor symptoms, but the fact that there's more people that it's spreading to. CDC still feels strongly that this is not a risk to the general public at this time, but they are watching it very carefully. The big concern, of course, is that could it mutate, just like we talked about COVID might mutate again, and it has, which is why there still continues to be a number of deaths. So the symptoms that they're getting are flu-like, and luckily fairly minor flu-like symptoms so far. I must admit, I read it this morning and I've forgotten the number, but CDC has literally hundreds of people studying this, and the concern always is could it mutate and become a major issue in humans, which it has not. And so far it has no point being it. I think now we're up to 11 cases, which is, when you think about the thousands and thousands worldwide with COVID, is obviously minimal, but still the worry is could it mutate, so they're looking at that. The other thing that they're talking about is because of what's suspected to be because of climate change, is we're having increased risk of dengue fever. Is that the southern states, because they're so much warmer and a lot of them are damper, the mosquitoes that were always further down are moving up. There's always been some dengue fever because people come back with it from different places, and so there's always been some cases, but they pretty much exclusively up to the last very short time brought it with them from someplace else. They didn't get it here. And that's being watched really carefully because it's become, dengue, having had it myself, is something you never want to go through. And so that's something that they're watching very carefully. what I couldn't come up with was any good significant programs at this point for eradication of these kinds of mosquitoes. I'm sure from what I was reading it's being looked at very hard, but right now it basically comes down to prophylaxis. Use your bug spray, cover your, the things that you would do for tick-borne diseases is don't go out and hang out in the woods without proper preparation, and that's at this stage the main information that I'm seeing. So obviously it's something that, again, is being watched carefully, and there certainly is a suspicion, according to the CDC reports that I was reading, is that this is going to become an increasing problem as it becomes a much more favorable climate for these mosquitoes to breed. So something to think of. The other thing that we all know about, and of course what just happened recently, is Surgeon General had a major a major public awareness out about and he declared that gun violence is a public health crisis. And I don't think that any of us needed to hear that from him to be aware of the issues that are out there. And I don't have an answer for this, but between the number of deaths and injuries, both in the mass shootings, just the fact being in the home, kids are getting guns, etc., what hasn't come up with is any way to deal with this except common sense when it comes to being in the house. Keep your guns locked. Don't let your kids get at them. Don't let your teenagers get at them. That type of thing. But unfortunately, even with the best people around, bad things happen. So I think that was generally what I had to report. There wasn't really much else that was new at this time. Declaring it as a public health crisis is kind of like declaring the drug problem as a public health crisis, which has been done for several years in some of these things. Unfortunately, what we're not coming up with is easy answers, or in some cases, really almost any answers for how to stop some of these things. And there's multiple people that are looking into it and trying to come up with answers, but again, I don't have an answer, and the governments don't seem to be able to have an answer or even agree on what should be the direction sometimes in the different states and even in the counties, and the federal court system have not come up with easy answers for this, and I think that's because there are not any easy answers. I think that's my main. Luckily, there's nothing really new and exciting to talk about because it's never good if there is. So, any questions?
Aren't they working on a vaccine for bird flu already?
They are working on it. It's not available. And right now, the only people that can get, I'm sorry, you're right, I didn't mean to mention that, is that you cannot get the vaccine unless you've got a positive test. You've already had it. So if you have a positive blood test, you then are eligible for a vaccine. And of course, there's not a mass blood testing system yet that is helpful. So there's very few people that are actually getting the vaccine. But yes, they've worked on it, but it's not proactive. It is been there, done that active. And so these people are being offered the vaccines, the ones that have been positive, been proven to be positive, or have a blood test that shows that somewhere down the line they've had it. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that.
Okay.
Anybody else?
All right, do I hear a motion to approve the health officer's report?
I move that we accept the health officer's report.
Second.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion's approved. Okay. Next is the administrator's report.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. On my end, my video doesn't want to work, and I can't see anybody now, so it wants me to do an upgrade, and I'm surely not going to do that right now. So I apologize that you can't see me. I'm waving at you though. Starting off the quarter, in April, Ashley Sharkey with the DNR Coastal Program hosted a 2-day septic training out at Red Mill County Park. The first day was for regulators, not just health department, we also had some MS4s there participating, and also some installers that came for this training. And Ashley was able to bring in Dr. Sarah Hager, who is with the University of Minnesota, and she's a national speaker. She has been president of the National On-Site Wastewater Recyclers Association. She writes a lot of their testing and does a lot of their training, and she's a very dynamic speaker, very intelligent, and she can talk about septics all day long, so you know she's my kind of person. And so that first day training, second day, and really the whole purpose of the meeting that Ashley set this up was training for realtors and how best to get realtors and help educate them so they can educate their clients when they're selling a house and or buying a house, so you know what you have without having to have a mandatory inspection program. So it was exciting to be able to bring back a national speaker into LaPorte County, just even if it was just a day and a half. Dr. Ducey was talking about the
I think we lost her.
Well, I just have no idea what she was gonna say.
I know, Dr. Ducey was just talking about that. Ah, okay. It looks like Dr. Uhas might be joining us. Dr. Uhas, are you online? We can't hear you if you can hear us. All right.
Yeah, I'm online.
Oh, there she is. There she is.
Yeah,
Good to hear from you.
Thank you. It's good to be heard. Comcast is functioning again.
Well, for you.
Yeah. And for how long, who knows?
Okay, I suppose we can go to the environmental health and we can come back to Amanda if you want to present your report now.
All right.
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. The second quarter.
Greetings.
She just said hello.
Greetings to you too.
Thank you.
There were 45 septic permits that were issued, 45 well permits that were issued. We had no lead investigations in the second quarter. There were 328 food inspections that were completed, 92 temporary food inspections that were completed. We've been working every weekend. The food code, the new food code with the state that was supposed to go into effect July 8th has been pushed back till September. So we've done all the training, we've gotten everything ready, but now we don't have it. So we're waiting on that. We did have one staff member that was on an extended leave period, and I just want to let everybody know that all of the work that was left, he's back now, but all of the work that was left was all picked up by the rest of the inspectors and all the work got done, so that was really good, and just want to thank them for doing that. We've been sampling mosquitoes since the end of May. They're collected 4 days a week and then sent down to the lab in Indianapolis once a week. They mail them on Mondays. The water samples that are still being collected and sent to Mishawaka, the lab's not open yet, so we're still collecting them. We had 184 bacteria samples, 169 pools, 2 surface water, 121 nitrate, 13 nitrite, 18 lead, 3 iron, 1 fluoride. And 13 irrigation wells. We have started sampling beaches. May 20th was our first day. 6 sites for Lake Michigan, 84 samples so far, only 1 advisory. The inland sites, we have 11. We've done 121 samples and 4 advisories so far. We did have the positive Legionella case here at a hotel in LaPorte. They had their first negative sample was taken. So we did, the negative sample was on the spa within the pool. There's a pool and spa enclosure. They were both together, so that was closed for many months. But they have their first negative sample, so we were able to reopen the pool and the spa. They are required now to sample for 3 months, once every 2 weeks for 3 months, and then the next 3 months once a month. So that's how that needs to go. All those samples have to be negative, and then they won't have to do any remediation anymore. We have 3 cases that are with the county attorney, the 2 septic cases that has been ongoing, and a new unsanitary living case. Questions?
What's the unsanitary living case, if I may ask?
Turn your mic on, please.
What's the unsanitary living case?
We had an unsanitary living complaint back last October. It's been ongoing. We've given this individual numerous chances to get it cleaned up, and that's not happening.
So what's next? What do you do in a situation?
So Amanda has decided to go ahead and turn that over to Laura, and she is trying to figure out if we need to condemn the property, which that's probably what's going to happen. It's not a good situation at all.
Is it just one person living there?
It
it
is.
a family?
One person.
One person.
Yep. Thank you.
I think I'm back if you can hear me now. I gave up and I'm on my phone.
Let me vote on this report we just did, and we'll come right back to you, Amanda.
I move that we.
Okay, I just wanted to comment real quick on that unsanitary living conditions that you had questions about. Whenever we do come across those, the very last thing we want to do is to put somebody out on the street if they don't have someplace else to go. So those are always very delicate situations, very delicate cases. But again, like Tricia said, this one we've been working with since October, and it's unfortunately we have had to turn it over to the attorney to try and get some resolution on that one.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to accept the Environmental Health Food Division report?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Okay, all approved, say
Aye.
Aye.
our
Aye.
motion's approved.
Oh, now that we have Dr. Juhas back, shouldn't we?
Do we have to do roll call?
Yeah.
Amanda,
Yes.
would you prefer that roll call be done?
I think if there's somebody on Zoom, we have to roll call.
Okay,
Do it real fast.
absolutely. So,
Dr. Nelson says aye.
Allie Lon says aye.
Pat Dara says aye.
Cox says aye.
Lauren Arnold, aye. Very good,
Doc-
thank you.
Dr. Uhas, aye. Anyone
Appreciate
cares?
Okay,
Yeah.
Amanda, you can finish your report.
Thank you. Again, I apologize for the tech issues. In June this month, in May, I had to submit our budget for Health First Indiana funds was due May 31st for them to be able to review. Next year, we will be receiving 2025. We will be receiving our full amount of $2,613,695.25 from the state. My budget was approved with them, though that doesn't mean it won't be anything finalized till further on in the year because we still have to get through budget hearings with the councils. And also they know that we're going to have to make some adjustments. And with that, I just found out earlier today, I received an email from the state that our budgets have changed. Even though all the states all the states, not all states, all the counties opted in this year. Last year there were 6 counties that didn't opt in. Everybody's opted in this year. So all the money was spoken for. However, there was additional funds from somewhere, so our budget has increased by $8,000. So I'll have to work on that. So now our budget for next year from the state is going to be $2,621,747.38. We were able to get moved back into the county complex. Happy days. On June 18th, we closed the 8th Street location. Hopefully forever. We will never be there again, knock on wood. The 19th was a holiday. So on June 20th and June 21st, they had multiple moving vans, several different crews rotating because the weather was, it was very hot, very high humidity those days. Trying not to get anybody to overheat, but they were able to get us all moved in. We're still settling in, but I think everybody's very happy with the space. It's odd for me, and I haven't been there a lot. I was on vacation, but last week when I was in the office all week, it was like I hear all these voices. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having everybody in one place, so that's been a little bit of a adjustment for me, but it's a good adjustment. The only thing we're waiting on is the laboratory. The lab wasn't completed. There was an issue with the countertops and the manufacturer, but all of that's been installed. And Cindy Ebert, our lab director, she has started on our PT studies. Nitrates first, and bacteria should be coming next week, I believe. We have to go through our PT studies, get those submitted first before the state will come in and do our inspection for our lab to be recertified so we can get opened. So right now it's not looking until at least September before our lab will be up and running again. But we still are able to have that partnership with Yes Laboratories, who are still collecting samples from us twice a week as a drop off. I've been very thankful for that they've extended that. They didn't realize it was going to be this long of a partnership. So, this month in June, it was 18 months. So they still have a couple more months to work with us. June was also National HIV Awareness Day on the 27th. We partnered with Walgreens on Franklin Street to provide free HIV testing and also syphilis. State of Indiana in the last couple of years has been literally a 2,000% increase in the cases of congenital syphilis. So we wanted to get it out there and be able to do that partnership with Walgreens to be able to offer that free testing. We didn't use up all of our free tests those days, so we still have those tests available that we can do in the office on our STD clinic days. And finally, I was able to meet with the job committee in June with 3 new proposed positions for our department using Health First Indiana funds, HFI funds, and to be able to meet all of the core requirements through HFI. So we have to add people to be able to meet those criteria. Job committee is presenting those, approve those, and next Monday we will presenting to the council, hopefully getting those positions approved so we can get them advertised and hired on before the end of the year. And the commissioners did approve 2 of our ordinances. They approved the fee ordinance, which will be going into effect here pretty soon, and also the property transfer ordinance. So there's a lot going on in a short amount of time. If anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer them best I can.
I just want to thank the health department for their hard work during the time of uncertainty after the pipes broke and everybody was displaced and scattered to the winds. So I know you guys kept functioning during that time and kept your head above water and did a lot of hard work. So thank you from the board.
And overall, it was interesting, especially getting back in the office with everybody. For the most part, everybody did take it on, made the best of a bad situation. But being back in the office, and a couple of people like, oh, thank goodness we're back. That was just pure hell over there. And it's like, well, you always had a really good attitude, so thank you for not showing your frustration and all of that in the office, and keeping a good attitude as much as we could.
A sign of professionalism.
Yes. We have a good crew.
Yep. Hardworking.
Okay.
Good leadership.
Do we need to accept the administrator's report?
Yes. And do I hear a motion?
I move that we accept the health administrator's report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Yeah.
Dr. Uhas,
Aye.
Dr. Nelson,
Aye.
Ms. Lawn,
Aye.
Dr. Dora,
Aye.
Dr. Manning Cox, Mrs. Arnold.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, motion's approved. Okay, Amanda is going to give the attorney's report.
Yeah, Laura wasn't able to be here today. She sent me a very brief report and asked for me to read it for you. She states, currently there are 2 pending matters pertaining to septic systems. On April 4th, 2024, an answer was filed in the first matter. In this case is set for hearing on July 26th at 10 a.m. The second case is scheduled for a hearing on a plaintiff's motion for default judgment on August 2nd at 10 a.m. I have been in communication with the defendant, and he is allegedly still working on gathering estimates. He hopes to have this matter resolved before the August 2nd hearing date.
Okay.
And these are another one, these septic ones, we've been working with them for over a year, and unfortunately we had to have those filed too, also to get some kind of resolution.
Okay. Is there any questions? Do you hear a motion to approve the attorney's report?
I so move.
And second?
Second.
Roll call.
Dr. Uhas,
Aye.
Dr. Nelson,
Aye.
Ms. Lawn,
Aye.
Dr. Dora,
Aye.
Dr. Manning Cox,
Aye.
Mrs. Arnold.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Is there any new business? Any old business? Okay, the next meeting date is going to be October the 15th.
Okay.
There's nothing else, we're adjourned.
Well, I make a motion to adjourn then.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second that motion.
Okay, adjourned.
Thank you.